Hey guys, Dylan Sider with Kinfolk Carpentry here, and today I want to talk to you about, is it worth being a general contractor, or is it worth being a specialized contractor? Let's get into it. So, we all start somewhere in the trades, and my introduction into the trades was working for my dad, and as a carpenter we were doing everything. We would frame the house, we would do the interior of the house, we would do the exterior of the house, trim, sometimes drywall, sometimes roofing. We were very general in all the knowledge that we needed to know. That's kind of the starting off point that I grew up under. And I think in remodeling, you get a lot of the same thing, where you end up doing siding and remodeling a bathroom and patching drywall. You have to know a lot of stuff. Oh, got a flaccid one. Swap her out for, oh, juicy one. I'm starting to contemplate this exact thing myself, is knowing everything related to the carpentry trade, the best way to run a business and to do all those tasks in-house, or is the better move to specialize and focus solely on one task, or a little more broader of a task, say trim work, stair work, installing kitchens, instead of doing drywall, siding, installing windows, plus doing all the trim work and installing kitchen. I didn't grow up thinking this way, using subs for every little thing on the job, and part of me still doesn't agree with it. I think we need to be well-rounded as tradesmen. I kind of almost view it as like a professional athlete. They say that multi-sport athletes are actually better because they've had lots of different experiences doing different things, and I think that's the same way with the trades. I think if you get a little experience patching drywall or installing trim, you probably have a better understanding of how to frame because of laying out studs for drywall, and when you're making a door opening, you kind of take into consideration how the trim is going to lay out going forward. I think there's all benefits to that. But as you get later on in your journey as a carpenter, I've been thinking through this, and I'm wondering if it's more profitable to focus solely on one aspect of your trade. Where I'm going with this is, does it pay to specialize on a specific task and gear your whole business around that, instead of trying to be a general contractor where you do everything? Say if I do stairs only once a year, I'm going to be a lot more efficient at it if I do it every day and I gear my whole business around it. Acquire tools that make me faster, and I'm able to either charge a little bit less than a general contractor for doing it, or charge the same amount, but I'm doing it in half the time. I think the same goes for siding. I think the same thing goes for kitchens, installing cabinets. Does it pay to specialize? I think roofers are probably doing great. They're only doing one thing. They don't have to carry drywall mud with them. They only need a specific set of tools to do their job, and they can be more efficient. I think another benefit to specializing is that there's far less competition. I think there's a lot of general contractors out there doing the same thing you're doing, and you're competing against them for business. But I think if you get into a specialty trade, a specialty part of the trade, I think there's less people to compete in that space. And the more well-known you get for that specialty, I think the busier you'll get. For example, I have a friend who ran a company, and I worked for him quite a bit actually, subcontracting, that was remodeling. He did kitchens, baths, and he did it all. He did tile. He would literally do anything, even some electrical and plumbing work. And he completely revamped his business into something he really enjoyed doing, which was restoring old windows, historical windows. We live in a city that has a lot of historical buildings, and they require to keep like a wood facade or like the old antique windows on certain streets, historical streets. So he got into remaking windows, glazing, replacing glass, reweighting them so they work nice. And it's kept him really busy, and he enjoys doing it. So he kind of reshaped his whole business around doing that, and it's really worked out. I think one thing with a specialized contractor is that you're limited on growth. I think of the guy that I just talked about, where he shifted his business to refurbish antique windows. I think you kind of run out of work eventually. You can't infinitely scale it and get 30 employees doing that because it is specialized. Whereas as a general contractor, it's kind of infinitely scalable. You could have 100 employees and service a large area and continue to grow and expand and, make money on all those employees. So I think there's definitely more money in general contracting. But I don't think there's a right and wrong answer. I certainly think there are people that are geared towards general contracting and do a great job at it. And I think if you're a little more ambitious and want lots of employees, that might be the route to take. But that's also why I make this video. I think it's something I've been processing lately, is how do I adapt and change, and what do I enjoy doing? And I feel kind of led to focus on the things I love and try to hone in on a certain aspect of the trade and potentially try to grow my business in that direction, because I don't feel geared towards growing a large company with tons of employees. I more or less just want to be happy, employed, doing the things I love, and try to make as much money as possible doing it. Those are my thoughts. off to get milk. So in conclusion, I'm always thinking of ways to be more effective in my business and potentially more profitable. And it's just something I'm thinking through, so I just wanted to share and make a video about it. Drop a comment down below what your thoughts are on general contractors versus specialized contractors, or if you're a carpenter yourself and you've had this experience of changing one way or the other, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for sticking around and watching, and we'll see you on the next video.